The first step of an afterthought heel is we need to place a piece of waste yarn where the heel will be added later. To determine where to put the waste yarn in, you need to knit your foot and stop to, generally most patterns will call for about 2 or 2¼ inches shy of the total length of the foot. So here my foot is ready to go. It is 2¼ inches shorter than the total length of my foot, and now I'm just going to add a piece of waste yarn. So I will start knitting with a nice contrasting colored yarn, and you want a nice smooth yarn that will be easy to take out later when it is time to add the heel. So while I'm knitting across my stitches, I'll talk a little bit about the Afterthought heel. The Afterthought heel is a great option when you are not sure if you're going to have enough yarn to knit your entire sock. So maybe you can go ahead and knit the foot and the leg of your sock and then possibly use a different yarn for your heel. Another great reason to put in an Afterthought heel is if you are one of the people who tend to put holes in your heels, you can put in an Afterthought heel, and then should you wear out your heel, you simply remove your Afterthought heel and knit in a new one. Also, Afterthought heels are great when you are working a colored sock such as this, because then you do not need to interrupt your design to add your heel. Just simply knit the entire sock and come back later and do the heel. So you see I'm knitting across half of the number of my total stitches, and this is the general formula for most Afterthought heels. So once I get all the way across half of the total number of stitches, that is how many stitches will be for the heel, then I am going to go ahead and slip these or return them to the left-hand needle. So now I have knit all of my future heel stitches with the waste yarn, and now I'm going to simply slip them back on the left one here. Now I'm just simply going to slip those stitches back onto the left-hand needle. So one at a time, return them to the left-hand needle. You can see that I am knitting with the magic loop, which is my favorite way to knit socks, but this technique certainly works with double points or two-circ method. And if you are knitting with double points, you do not need to return these to the left-hand needle. Simply slide these waste yarn stitches to the left hand, to the other end of the needle. So once I get these all on here, then it will be time to continue knitting with them. The very important aspect of putting in an Afterthought heel is this row that is going to follow the waste yarn should be a plain knit row. So if you are knitting a sock that has lace or decreases, try to put the Afterthought heel in a place where you have a row that does not have those elements. Also, if you are knitting a sock that has multiple colors, you will want the stitches that are on top of the waste yarn stitches, you would like those to be just in a solid color. So here I have all of my stitches transferred back onto the left-hand needle, and now I'm knitting a color pattern, and I'm just going to go ahead and knit right on top of all of those stitches with my solid colored yarn. Tighten that up there a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and knit across this row in one color. Here I am at the last waste yarn stitch. Go ahead and knit that. And let's see if we can take a look at our knitting here. So here you can see that I knit in my contrasting color, my waste yarn, and then I knit right on top of it. So now I will just continue on up the leg of my sock and finish up the sock, and I will come back later to finish my Afterthought heel. Happy knitting!